Hey there, everyone, and welcome to the stream. I am newtmechanist, and tonight we're going to be continuing our playthrough of the Apollo Justice Ace Attorney trilogy. It's been a bit, not too long, but longer than I would like. How we doing? I see Rex is in chat. Hi, Rex. How you doing? See how the kitties are doing. We have Sky and Ember are snuggled up across the desk, and we have Mason visible on the left. Sammy is in the bottom platform of the tree there. Let's see if Sherbet is still hiding in the little house there. Zoom. Yeah, you can just see him. You can just see him once the camera reboots again. If you look inside the little doorway, you can just see his paw. Just barely. Uh-oh, my avatar is misaligned. One moment, please. Doot, doot, doot. It's not right. There we go. There we go. How odd. I was hovering. Switch over to the across the desk view for the classic result here. But yeah, more Ace Attorney tonight. Nice to get back into it. I want to do more narrative content like this. I do enjoy the Ace Attorney games. I wouldn't mind doing some more of the book reading, the public domain books. Those were fun. I might use a game called, I think it's The Longing. Part of that one includes a great many public domain books that I would choose from anyway, so I might use that. But this is a nice visual interactive format, so with all that said, let's get back to it, shall we? Just double check, make sure the chat feed hasn't choked out. Okay, no, we're good. We're good. I'll have to watch the volume on Ace Attorney here because the music and the sound effects can get loud. Now, there are very few adjustments in the game that I can make to the volume. I have to kind of do that on the fly. So if I recall, we are just after the trial day when we determined that the, can't recall his name, but the kind of the college student witness was unreliable. That a lot of the details of what they described were wrong and inconsistent, and that they had been doing their own crimes at the time, undergarment related crimes. A train wreck that was. I'm glad we made it out of that trial alive. I mean, it wasn't terribly life-threatening. Really? I had fun. Waki made it through the day, too. Ah, okay, that is the defendant. He is a wannabe modern gangster who is convinced that doing time in prison is what is necessary to secure his image as a real gangster. So, despite the fact that he did not commit the murder, he is actively confessing to it. We are nominally being hired by his father to defend him, despite his confession. Everyone was too obsessed with panties to bother with the real case. But it was good publicity. Imagine the crowd at my show tonight. She uses big patterned bloomers instead of a top hat to pull things out of. You should come, Polly. The amazing Mr. Hat will make an appearance. And this is the remote-controlled wooden mannequin that is rapid deployable from some sort of backpack that she used to kidnap herself and disrupt the trial. Folks, I'll be here all week. That's about enough of him. This is Walkie's fiance, I think. Hello? Miss Tiara. Thank you for today. The trial went well. All right, no problem. You think Walkie will be okay? Well, he's not guilty yet, despite his best efforts. Please, you have to help him. We're supposed to get married next month. No, congratulations. To put the pressure on a guy. Please let me know if there's anything I can do to help. So the Katakis are a local Yakuza family. In classic Ace Attorney localization fashion, they are a very Japanese Yakuza vibe family that suddenly is giving off a lot of Italian mafia vibes. You sure about marrying into the Kataki family? I'm fine with it, and I love Waki with all my heart. Oh, that's so sweet. So it doesn't bother you that you'll be married to the mob? I don't think so. My parents are against it, of course. They are, Dice Goddess, and welcome back, Dice Goddess. Good to see you again. Very silly indeed. Where did you and Waki first meet, anyway? Good question. Talking about, she very much looks like the sort of person that travels in the same circles as Waki. Now, actually, she does kind of seem to be the kind of person that would be accosted on the street by Waki either looking to go to a place to become overly drunk or is already overly drunk and accosting people looking to go back to a place where he can get even more overly drunk. Tiala doesn't look like the type to have gangster connections. Oh, we met at my old job, actually. Office romance. Sure, all my buttons are still active here. Sure that nothing has fallen apart each time I check here. Not very forthcoming with information about herself, is she? Did you know that the boss is trying to get out of the business? Might explain his Friendly apron. So the Kitaki family has a lot of fox symbolism, or emblems and the like. And when we saw him, he was wearing a big old apron with a cartoon fox head kind of logo on it. Really? Mr. Kitaki wants to quit being a gangster? He's trying to transfer his assets into a normal company. He only announced it recently, out of the blue. There's quite a lot of confusion in the ranks. I mean, he could say that he's trying to, go legit, but it's going to look almost exactly like money laundering. Yeah, wonder if this explains that apron. Very cute. I love the dissonance between this, though. You have the cute little cartoon apron and the guy giving you the death glare. Can't imagine Waki going along with that. Hee. He's highly motivated, isn't he? That's not the word I would have used. He said, I'll be the next big boss and keep the family alive. I would love it if they did a PC port of the Layton crossover. I mean, I would love there to be new Layton games available on PC in general, but I would like to see a port of the Layton crossover. I would definitely play that again. I mean, it was a lot of fun, and we would get to do some Professor Layton puzzles on stream. And I like me some Professor Layton puzzles. I heard there was going to be another Professor Layton game, but it's in the indeterminate future. I think he's at that age when boys want to make a mark on the world. That's not the way I would have put it. His father moves in a lot of circles. He's really focused on profits. Taki family's been making a killing recently. Again, not the way I would have put it. Good times, good times. Always lots of games to look forward to. The current one I'm looking forward to is EDF 6, but they bumped that to summer. It was going to be a spring release in the West. So that'll be good. In the interim, of course, I have Helldivers for my, absurd alien combat game, but it's a different vibe in the end, Completely unrelated to the other games we're talking about, of course. Though simultaneously, I would like to see an Ace Attorney EDF crossover. That'd be good. You're doing something on Games Done Quick? Or you're prepping to watch Games Done Quick? Oh. Yeah, that makes sense because that's a different letter at the end. I'm gonna blame that on me being overtired. You got something you developed on there? I see. Were you working on a game some time ago? Sounds kind of familiar. Yeah, yeah. I thought I remember you mentioning something about working on a game or game-like project. We recently started dipping our toes into some game development. It's something that I've wanted to try for a while. And, you know, now is turning out to be the time. We're getting very little done, but we're learning. He says it's not about the money. They have the gangster tradition to uphold. Oh, a generation gap. They've even got the ever-classic what about the family business thing going. Just in reverse. Usually it's the father worried about tradition. I'm currently using Godot. I'm planning on trying to make a Vampire Survivors-like game. At least in its, bare bones format. It's a pretty straightforward concept. It's the details in the actual gameplay that, make the difference. But the shell, I think, is a good starting point. Camera drags with character, things swarm character. It's giving me an opportunity to reuse some of those, to dust off some of those Noida sprites and give them a tweaking. Some of the Apollo Justice music is landing pretty well. Can I ask you a question about Waki? I understand he was operated on by the victim, Dr. Maractus. Maractus. So it's that kind of that kind of paper doll sprite kind of thing. I mean, it can be very robust, with moving join points, but the interconnected sprites with rotation points kind of thing. Ooh, fancy. Actually, I think I wonder if that's the one that I'm thinking of. I know there was one that well, I have seen a couple of programs like that. I don't know if I've seen that particular one, but those are interesting. Those are interesting. That makes sense. Eventually, I have poked at digital art recently. Like many other things, still in the, poking it with a stick stage. But eventually I would like to do the kind of drawn sprite look. Gives a little more... I mean, I like me some pixel art. Like me some old style pixel art. Nice. Low res, chunky pixel art. but simultaneously, um, there is something to be said for the drawn style. It's just another avenue. I do think there's the window for looking good with some animation types, I think is the aperture starts lower. Like, to get really good rotation and some movements in sprites, you have in pixel sprites, there's a little more that you've got to do. And with something like the spinal animations, you can pull off some animation types that will look pretty good with that without having to get really good with the pixel sprites. Beverage. Apparently, yes. So this was Waki was involved in a gang operation, okay, a criminal undertaking. And instead of following the plan, he was convinced that, a real gangster should charge blindly into the guns and gets shot. So then he has to be operated on. They take him to essentially the mob doctor, the guy that will perform operations that would otherwise get the police involved. And he has a bullet in his chest that is very near his heart. And apparently he doesn't remove the bullet. We don't know why, but I'm guessing that the bullet wasn't removed because the operation would endanger him. But we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. The assertion by the prosecution at this point is that Waki, having found out that the doctor left the bullet in and that the bullet was still a risk to his health, confronted the doctor and killed him for botching the surgery or something like that. There are still a lot of oddities, of course, but we'll see how it turns out. Ooh. Ah. Was in his clinic about half a year ago. He messed up my op something bad. Then he just lets me go without a word. See you later. Bye. So I gotta go in, get another doc to patch me up again. It sounded horrible. Waki has always been fond of fighting, I'm afraid. I'm not sure it qualifies as fighting when pistols are involved. Mr. Gavin was saying his life might be in danger, wasn't he? No, that can't be right. I'm sure he was just trying to scare us. It's scary to think that a surgeon might make a mistake. But it's even scarier when he tries to hide it. I'd like to know a little more about this operation. Maybe it's time to pay the Maractus Clinic a visit. I should be getting home now. Waki's in your hands, Mr. Justice. It's hard to gauge her expressions. Right, leave it to me. Oh, I think you're making her more nervous. Sorry, I'm new at this, okay? Hee hee. It's all right. I believe in you. Okay, let's see. Maractus Clinic should be accessible from Eldoon's house. Front entrance to the Maractus Clinic. The walls and posts are so highly polished, I can see my face in them. Wait, my hairdo's a little flat. There, perfect. Okay, can we go via garage? Some sort of camera. I didn't notice that before. Oh, we can't click it, though. Well, we'll move around because apparently just going to the clinic doesn't trigger anything. A detention center triggered a flag. Like Walkie's out for questioning. Really need to talk to him. I guess we'll come back later. Excuse me. The other suspect is all through with questioning, sir. The other? Ah, you mean the panty snatcher. Wesley Stickler. They arrested him, too. All right, let's have a little chat with Mr. Stickler. I hope I don't regret this. He is a valuable witness. So this is the one that claimed he saw the shooting. And his description of events was quite flawed. And then his character was called into question when it was determined that he was the one stealing underwear. Is a bit precious, I'll give him that. Please keep this brief, if you would. I'm quite busy. I need to finish this paper. It's you. Mr. Stickler, we'd like to have a few words with you. Very well, as long as they're few. Nothing would make me happier, believe me. I mean, maybe that's what that old lady is so desperate to do. That's, it's not that that's where her morning walk is. It's where she gets taken for a walk in the morning. She's very upset that her routine was broken. Hey there, Tass. I wonder if that old lady will become a more relevant character other than just her clearly trying to get into the crime scene in the background as a joke, you know. Mr. Stickler, on the night of the murder, you stole... I know, right? can't help but feel that I'm being misunderstood. How exactly? I obtained a pair of panties, it's true. However, it was my burning curiosity that drove me to do it, nothing more. He had been to Trucy's magic show, where he witnessed her, pulling random objects out of this pair of panties. And in his incredible scholarly intellect, he was obsessed with figuring out how she was able to defy the laws of physics with this pair of underwear. So he had to steal them and test them for science, because that's what a rational, learned individual does. Strictly for science. 100% scientific inquiry. Nothing else. Want to know the trick to my panties, right? You're here too? Great Trucy, teach me. Eh? I must know the secret. My very existence hangs in the balance. Please make me your apprentice. Apollo, help. I don't know, I think he'd make a great, lovely assistant. Don't say that, Apollo. Could you relate what you saw the night of the murder to us one more time? Why not? Though it hardly differs from the testimony I gave in court. The defendant was there in the park that night. Of that, I'm quite certain. He was pointing a pistol, or something like that, at the victim. Almost certainly he's holding a knife. That is very much the I'm going to rush you and stab you pose. Pointing a pistol or something like that at the victim. That's when I shouted, "Stop, you two! Let's resolve this like gentlemen." And the next moment, a shot was fired. And this is all true? Really? My panties are gone, my innermost heart revealed. What further reason could I possibly have to lie? I can't think of anything he'd want to hide more than panty snatching, true. Sounds like Walkie was at the scene of the crime after all. Oh, I wish it weren't so. The court record. Shall we taunt him? That's it. The mystery. The unanswerable riddle. Actually, they're just a normal pair of panties. There's nothing normal about that pair of panties. So the most decorated bloomery the most bloomers you could imagine. How is that possible? Just takes practice, that's all. You must teach me, you must. You think if I could produce a pencil, an eraser, a textbook, and a lunch. All from a pair of panties, my life would be complete. He's serious, isn't he? Cell phone. Fine, ignore my evidence, see if I care. At least he doesn't have a protracted, diatribe when we try to show him something he doesn't care about. All right, let's see if we can move to the clinic this time. Yep, flag raised. Hey, it's Mr. Eldoon. Oh, Mr. Eldoon. What's wrong? So, you found my stand. That's why I'm here, to thank you. Ah, but now it's a crime scene and they won't let me have it back. That's also why I'm here. I got no other place to go. Mr. Eldoon, current proprietor of Eldoon's Noodles, a family business, is pioneering the new flagship product, the saltiest noodles. How can a noodle stand be a crime scene? That's what I don't get, Trucy Doll. And in death, he's after my neck, I tell ya. And even cook an honest noodle. He was in conflict with the proprietor of the clinic next door. You can see the golden pillar. Because that place was built in the lot adjacent to his little shack here. And it, like, cut off the sunlight. And the sunlight was important to him, not because, natural light, but because he needed, daylight to put his noodle cart in, because the broth wasn't as good if you couldn't leave it out in the sun. He, even in death, you mean the victim, Dr. Maractus. Maractus. I find that syllable join tricky. That KT. Tell ya, it's enough to drive a man to make his soup even saltier. I mean, never to eat his noodles when he's in a bad mood. That stand. For generations, it served up the very best noodles us Eldoons could make. A tradition of noodles and salty broth. More than a stand, it's history, I tell you. Watch what you say, or it might become true. It's a great story, Mr. Eldoon. A single stand passed down from generation to generation. Of course, to be honest, I didn't plan on doing it. That's right, you said something about that. About you rebelling against your pops, was it? Good memory, Trucy Doll. I was a go-getter back in my day. Until my friend next door butted in. In the end, I was left with nothing but this dusty old stand to earn my fortune. Mr. Eldoon, I don't mean to pry, but what exactly did you do before you became a chef? Let old Noodles lie, that's what I say. Starting to get an idea of what he did, anyway. He stole my dreams and left me with nothing but noodles. Now I don't even have that. Mr. Eldoon, if I might ask, what exactly happened between you and the Maractus Clinic? Eh? I couldn't help but sense enmity there. Enmity? I hate him. Or hated. Him acting like he smells like roses when he's rolling in mud. Excuse me? He's the only doctor at that clinic, you know. Pretty impressive, huh? I'll tell you the secret to his success. The mob. You mean the Kitaki family? They're always having one of them turf wars or whatnot. Regularly, one of them will go out in the street and meet a rival, and there'll be a really fixed, choreographed battle, and then one of them will take a lot of damage and maybe deal a lot of damage back to the other, and then the one will retreat. Which is probably why the retreating one needs surgical attention. Always an injury or two that needs fixing. Maractus saw a chance for some business. So he started giving the Kataki family a good deal. A deal? Every 5th operation for free. Get 4 bullets removed and get the 5th one free. It's a bargain. If you have 4 limbs blown off, then the 5th one that gets blown off is free. Stole the idea from my pops. 1 free bowl of noodles a week, he used to say. Did the doctor just decide to do that? What about insurance companies? Oh, no doubt it's illegal, but it got him in good with the family. Pretty soon he was getting all the business in town. Leaving me here in the dark, up to my neck in soupy noodles. I think I figured out Mr. Eldoon's former occupation. Can't hurt to ask, Apollo. Mr. Eldoon, or should I say, Dr. Eldoon. Figured it out, did ya? That's right, I was a doctor, a surgeon until the year before last. So, Mr. Maractus was your rival. Like those onions they put in the soup broth? Yeah, kind of. You take a spoon, you drink some broth, those onions will find their way in there. For people who like them, why, that's just fine. For people who hate them, I hate onions. Hate them. Always sneaking in from the side, getting in the way of a good tasting spoonful. Well, that's what he was. An onion. Onion boy, that's what I called him. The less successful rival to Turnip Boy. So, you weren't exactly friends. Ah. Me and pal Maractus. Ever since preschool, we were getting in each other's faces. No matter what I did, sure enough, he'd come following along. Then he'd do it better than me, just blow right past without so much as a howdy. I see. That's right, I was a surgeon long before he was, you know. And that no-good onion boy comes along. Well, Trucy, looks like we found ourselves a new suspect. Don't say that. Thanks to him, I was forced to trade in my scalpel for a ladle. Welcome back, Dice Goddess. Grocery delivery is convenient. Let's see. Another. Sherbet has come over for a change of location. Processing. There he is. Sorry, pal, didn't mean to weigh you down with an old man's ramblings. Oh, it's fine. By way of apology, you ever get yourself in a spot of trouble, you drop by. Huh? You're investigating Maractus, aren't you? Yes. Well, you want to know about a doctor, you ask a doctor. That's all I'm saying. You just think of me... you just think of me if you need something, Trucy Doll. Right. Thanks, Mr. Eldoon. I guess the time spent listening to him complain wasn't entirely wasted. Well, we've got to check out this clinic, that's for sure. Yeah, the fact that this clinic makes most of its money working with the mobsters puts a different spin on 3 shots for the price of 1. I mean, it could be it could be an offer for medical attention. It could be an offer for participation in the jobs that then subsequently would potentially need medical attention as a result of. What about the guard? No harm in asking. Excuse me. Hey, it's you two from yesterday. It's the same officer that was standing out by the park yesterday. Your business is over in the park, isn't it? The clinic's off limits. It's not involved. But part of off limits do you not understand? Show me proof that the clinic is connected to the incident in the park, or beat it. No harm in asking, no gain either. Point in sticking around here, I guess. We got... It has to be the incident in the park. This is an incident outside the park. We don't have the slippers anymore. Actually, I wonder if we can go get the slippers. Because we inexplicably left one of the other pieces of evidence in the garbage can. Little Plum again. She's back. Hey, you two, over here. Us? No, Little Plum, what's up? I think all this gangsterese is a negative influence on Trucy. So, you have the localization team crudely trying to graft in Italian mafia terminology on top of this organization. And then further terminology is that you've got, U.S. gangster slang being used for some of the characters' speech. Is specifically what Waki is doing. And it makes sense from the perspective of Waki being, like, having an outside terminology. An outside, more associated with modern terminology. Because of his, his altered take on things. But then Trucy taking that on, it's kind of odd because she's interacted with Waki so little. The man speaks clearly and takes credit where it's due. Caught the thief, didn't you? Yes, sorry, I caught him. You're cute when you're nervous, Polly. I'll deal with you later. And enough about bloomers. What about my son, Waki? Waki? Well, he's clearly... Yes, ma'am. Well, I was kind of hoping we could avoid coming back here. He's really everything you'd expect in a boss's son. I'm going to be a gangster, dude. Life does have an appeal for that age. Particularly for boys. Don't look at me like that. He was shot in a turf war about half a year ago. We heard the story from Waki. But he didn't tell you the whole story. Even if he had a pistol, then he couldn't have shot anyone. What? He acts like he's hard, but he couldn't shoot someone to save his life. I should know, I'm his mom. Her words do have a certain weight to them. Hopefully when this is all taken care of, he and the boss can sort out their differences. The boss? You mean Waki's father? They didn't seem to be on the best terms, did they? It's true, one of our pistols is missing. So the murder weapon was from this mansion. We kind of figured, given the difficulty of obtaining a gun these days. None of the rank and file have access. Only the boss, myself, and Waki could have taken it. Well, that's not good, is it? I see. I'm sure the cops will continue tromping all over the mansion because of this case. Maybe this is a sign that it's time for a change. Wahahaha. She doesn't seem too concerned, at least. Yeah, Waki's fiancé. They're getting married next month, correct? I suppose she's been staying over lately. You don't look too happy about that, little plum. How'd you guess? Even I could tell that. Could you tell us more about her? Waki brought her home one day. Says he wants to tie the knot. I can see why, she's so pretty. Oh, she's pretty enough, but you know... it's probably just me being suspicious. Stay in this business too long, and you start to only see darkness in people. Some of the poses they have Tiala do imply to me that there's something else going on. I wonder if what we're going to find out is that she convinces Waki to show her the gun. She steals the gun. She shoots the guy. And either Waki is covering for her in an effort to protect her and just being really blustery about it. Or he didn't realize that she had done it and that she is framing him. Even more if she's hoping to get married before to get married and then kind of take his place, you know? You get a nose for it. A nose for people. A nose for trouble. I wonder what the problem is. Like a gangster's only version of female intuition. Boss may act tough, but that boy means the world to him. But Waki seems, well, dumb. It seems like he's against his father's position. It's to be expected. We're in a bit of a transition now. Trying to cut our ties with the shadier side of the street and do more on the up and up. Waki isn't too enthusiastic about the change, it's true. But why the change? Is the gangster thing just not paying the bills? Wahahaha. It pays, but we need a lot of money right now. Clean money, that is. Something must be up. He'll see things the way the boss sees them, someday. It's trash can. This is where we found the mirror. Come to think of it, wasn't there something else in there? Something near the bottom. The Maractus Clinic slippers that have a leaf print that is visible. Sorry, there is paint on the bottom of the slippers, but there is a leaf print where they're with no paint. So it indicates that there was a leaf from the park on the slipper before it stepped in the paint. So the slipper was in the park before it had passed through the park before the car crash. So the slipper had been in the park sometime around the event, essentially. The paint on these, that means they must have ended up in here after Mr. Wright's accident. Maybe they're connected. Let's pick them up. Check People Park, see if it triggers a flag. It does not. Just had to check. The box says salt, but it has a symbol for, like, a leak on it. Let's look at the slippers real quick and see if there's anything it will... Yep, bottom is covered in paint. Weird shape. It's like a leaf was stuck to the bottom when the wearer stepped in some yellow paint. So the outline was left when the leaf was removed. Paint on hand. Tried to wipe on cape. Haha. Forget that there's a button for that. Wanted to present it to him, wanted to present it to the guard. Entrance, walls are polished. Hoping that would trigger something, but... is the... Okay, Phoenix has nothing to say to us. They've been there. Anything at the detention center yet? Oh, new flag. Is Walkie finally going to be here? Hoping to meet with my client. Walkie Kataki's just finished with questioning. I'll bring him out. Great, finally. Yo, sup, my little imposter? What did you call me? Dizam. It's you. Sorry, G. Thought you were Alita. My little imposter sure is a strange nickname. It's a clink thang. You wouldn't understand. Did I say imposter? I meant poster, like poster girl, right? If you're going to drop part of that, why not drop poster and just call her girl? Because she's so much more than that, G. She's like an angel, a fallen angel. So what can I do you for? Yeah. We have another instance of the potentially the Black Widow character, you know? Don't look so chipper today, Walkie. Worried about your heart condition, maybe? That was the wackest thing of all. All us G's lining up, taking eye exams and all that. Better to die young than fade away. Bezoy. Your father not tell you that bullet you carry so close to your heart, if not attended to immediately, it could kill you. And I ain't trying to hear that. Man fights to protect what's valuable to him, you know what I'm saying? I miss my fallen angel. Hey, you go get Alita for me. You're my lawyer, aren't you? Lawyer, not gopher. So I hear you're to be married next month. Straight up, we poured the nuptial 40 out on the stoop. Oh, Snapple cakes. And apparently, Shiso Thoin. I think he's smitten with her in his own weird way. I was wondering, how did you two meet? I asked Tiala, but she was very vague. Oh, well, man, if she wouldn't tell you, I'd best hold my tongue, you feel me? What? And what's past is past, she knows that. When I'm with Alita, I feel like there's things worth protecting out there, you feel me? My Alita, she's down with that all the way. So both of them are mum about their past. You think you could tell us what happened with you and Pal Maractus? There's something you should know. We Kitakis are having what you might call a feud with it's the Rivals family, but it looks like, I'm guessing it's the Rivalis family. So about 6 months back, I got into Rivalis turf and packing a knife, right? And you were shot. Oldest thing I ever seen. One shot to the heart, but my homies weren't too late. It's a miracle that I lived. Already considered one of the 7 wonders of the Kitaki family, you know? This was where they were supposed to wait for a particular moment when they could enter a facility safely. Like, you know, changing of the guard kind of thing. And Waki insisted that, you know, waiting around wasn't gangster enough. And so he charged right in and was immediately shot by the first guy, you know? We were taken to the Maractus clinic then. Should have seen their faces when they wheeled me in. You can't just let the boss's son die, you know? I'd hate to have been in that doctor's shoes. Mr. Kitaki's scary enough when he's not angry. But the bullet that hit you was never removed. And it's still threatening his life. That doctor, he did it on purpose. The Rivalis paid him off, I'm sure of it. He Revales. Gonna go with Rivalis. Need to hear more about the night of the murder, that much is clear. Life in the family is a G thing. It's about being a man. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, I'm not up on my G things. I'm not even sure what a G thing is. My old man, he's gone soft. He says the old rival gang days are over. He just wants to make money. I mean, you know, that's kind of the point behind the rival gang thing. Is so that, you know, you can make the money that they're making instead of them. Isn't that a good thing? And there ain't no soul in making money. They're to live fast and die young. A faux shizzle. Apollo's had enough of it too. Wait till I run the yard, then everyone will know what time it is. That's right, OG time all the time. Represent. Apollo, why does he keep talking about old guys? I don't think that's what OG means, Trucy. But these weapons, the pistol and the knife. They belong to the family. I snuck them out that night. So the killer, Mr. Stickler says he saw that night was... I guess it was me. I was there after all. We're finished. Yo, Walkie. You think you could tell us exactly what happened that night? Don't beat around the bush, do you? Like your style, shorty. Actually, there's a question I've been wanting to ask you for a while now. That is, did you do it? Did you shoot him? I don't know. Huh? The day of that checkup, when I found out about the bullet by my heart, I borrowed a gun from the family stash. Figured I'd give that doctor a taste of his own bad medicine. I don't like where this is going. But you were carrying a knife, weren't you? Oh, that? Yeah, well, never can be too careful, I say. So I'm on my way to the clinic, right? I run into him in the park, and he's dragging this noodle stand behind him. Wait, you didn't put him up to that? Like, you know, in the movies? If you value your life, you'll bring the stand. Shorty, you're more whacked than I am, and that's saying something. But I was serious. The thing is, I don't remember what happened next all too well. You don't remember. But the way I see it, if it wasn't anyone else there that night, then I guess it probably was me who did him in. You know what I'm saying? Can we present this? Yeah, whatever. Okay, you don't care. I feel like there's something more that we should be able to get from him. Doesn't care about them. Can't use people as a marker. Okay, if we can find Alita again, that kind of becomes a critical element. Do another loop around here. There we go. Look at that crowd over by the park. Probably people trying to get a glimpse of the crime scene. Why are those girls screaming? Oh, Prosecutor Gavin's there. Oh, yeah, yeah, Emma's here. Uh, we encountered her earlier with her, you know, her dismissive snack eating until we presented her with her much favored white powder. I think one of them. I just heard one of them say, "Oh my God, it's him." Yeah, that motorcycle. It isn't her forehead. Prosecutor Gavin. Some fans found me on my way out. Just my luck. Rabid fans. Thus the screams. New album just came out, you know. Try waving to them. They love it. So excited. It doesn't matter who waves to them. See? This is surreal. So you were here investigating? And I was on my way home when my hog gave up the ghost. Your hog. Vague terminology. My motorcycle won't start. Too bad. It looks like such a nice bike, too. Hard to believe that it could break from just that. Accidentally bumped the right click, but, you know, his motorcycle broke down. It's my fault. I think I was using the wrong oil. Cars, motorbikes, they're all the same. Clog the exhaust and they won't run. Okay. So, I wonder if that line there is meant to be a little bit of a nod. So, this is going to be relevant as far as the car being driven, the green car that hit Phoenix, and the post in the paint out in front of the Kitaki mansion. When that car was out and about, is probably going to become relevant. It was established that Stickler had to have been in the garage after the car left, because he dropped his cell phone and it landed right next to one of the wheels, and the cell phone would have been smashed if the car had pulled out after that. So he was there after the car had made its loop. The timing of that may become relevant because when he was hiding there, he also stuffed Trucy's underwear into the exhaust pipe of the car to hide it, since Trucy was pursuing him during that. Which I wonder if that's why they're calling it out. Machines, tell me you share my angst, hair forehead. I ride a bicycle, actually. In any event, I'm off to the shop to get her fixed. The detective in charge of the scene isn't fond of me in any case. The detective? You mean the one in the lab coat? She's in a foul mood, too. Be gentle. A goodbye, baby. And the forecast for the park today, gloomy skies. Haha. Nothing to do but to head on in. Let's hit the park. People Park. I do like how their mascot for the soup, the saltiest soup, is essentially a Mr. Yuck face, you know? Something about this scene looked different to you? We have distinctive footprint and leaf now. Yeah, with the tarps gone, we can see the footprint in the leaf. Think you're right. Look over there. The white-frocked detective from yesterday. She seems to be apologizing reverently to the trash can. She's under a lot of stress. The investigation's probably not going so well. You there. If you're going to talk about someone behind their back, do it more quietly, please. Detective Sky, hello. This is one of those neat things that you can do with subsequent games like this, with series where you pick up sometime later, is that you can do like this person after time has passed kind of stuff. So, you know, Sky after she has been through training and come back kind of thing. Seem as gloomy as ever? Miserable. I just got a new kit and I can't get the stuff to work. Everybody's all smiles for that glimmerous fop. Glimmerous? Does she mean Prosecutor Gavin? Or to the type, doesn't she mean glamorous? Nope, she means sparkly. Vox's shiny chains catch the sun and glimmer in my eyes. It's distracting. Speaking of distracting, so I just have to accept the fact that I lack talent. Yeah. Somebody who, like, they've got the general ideas of what they're doing, and they're, you know, they're an active participant. They're actually helping. But clearly it's, yeah, it's that that she was an enthusiast, like really enthusiastic about it. And now she is like a professional at it. She does this as a job. Like she's trying to out some sort of new forensics technique. Detective Sky, you know Mr. Wright, correct? No, Mr. Wright, right? Do you know my daddy? I want details. Sure, but in almost in kitty jackknife pose there. Almost touching his toes, you know? Well, he helped me out a long time ago. You might say he saved me. Isn't she saying something about getting involved in an incident? I can't stand it when things are vague, especially in a case. I went to study to become a forensic scientist. In Europe. Smug face. That in Europe definitely has that inflection of, yeah, Europe kind of thing going on. Like, it's extra impressive that she was studying in Europe. But you're a detective now. Well, I failed the test. But, you know, rank and title don't matter. What matters is what's inside your heart. Always thought that too. My heart is full of science. That's why I bought this kit through mail order. I'm going to test it here before the forensics team arrives. Are you sure that's okay? I won't lie, I'm not fond of the man. Those glamorous types always rub me the wrong way. Glamorous, right. Well, that would be a pretty neat thing. Very, very practical exercise. There's a lot of, I mean, forensic science is really a grouping of kind of applications of disciplines, you know? Everything from biology to physics to all kinds of stuff like that. It's that it's an application of knowledge kind of thing. Prosecutor should be cool of wit and furrowed of brow, less glimmerous and more simmerous, you know? No, actually, I don't. Well, that and that and what happened 7 years ago. Prosecutor Gavin was the one who stripped Mr. Wright of his attorney's badge. What? Really? He was the one? You mean you didn't know? I thought you were one of his boys. I'm neither a boy nor one of his. Phrasing. But let's see what she has to say. Exactly happened 7 years ago. I never actually heard the details. Then investigate. It's better you learn it for yourself anyway. Do you mind me asking exactly what it is you've been doing? Squatting down on the ground like that? Oh, you want to know? Do you? Well, I splurged on a new toy. You splurged. You mean it wasn't police issue? What is it? I see a roller and glue. This is a footprint analysis kit. Footprint? It was raining on the night of the murder, which means that footprints were left. Does that have anything to do with those blue tarps? Right. The ground was muddy, so I had to protect it as it was that night. Protected as it was that night. Ever wanted to know exactly where someone was standing? Like your panty-snatching student witness, for instance? Ah, so with that kit. Right. What? Want to try this stuff out? Are you sure? I mean, we're sort of on opposing teams and all. Pshaw. You're friends. And to tell the truth, I'm not so good at doing this. I guess I'm a little clumsy. I could use your help. Oh, I'm good at stuff like this. I used to make magic bunnies out of paper mache. Print analysis, huh? Well, should I give it a go? Why, yes, I would like the game to continue. Okay, I'll give it a go. We're the truthiest team. Right, allow me to explain. One moment. She's reading the instructions for her kit. Why does this not fill me with confidence? First, we have to pick the footprint, or in this case, shoe print we want to analyze. Taking the liberty of marking all the shoe prints in the park. Which shoe print should we start with? Going to verify the defendant's accounts, here's the place to start. Yep. Shoe prints prepare to be examined. Pour in plaster until it's full. Press space where you want to pour plaster. Like this. Gooey. Doesn't look too hard. Well, you have to wait for the plaster to harden. You run out of plaster in your beak. You run out of plaster in your beaker before you're done. You have to start over. Oops. Yeah, not bad. You're handier than I thought. On to the next step. Dry the plaster until it turns white. Right. Blast it with a hairdryer. I like how there's impact waves off of this dryer. Ooh, print. Next, ink. It's just a little mechanical exercise, but it's fun. It's one of the things that does make this interactive fiction, is there's stuff that you do. As opposed to go to the spot and answer like a yes-no question kind of thing. Now the moment you've all been waiting for. Let's take our print. Ready? Here goes. Oop. Guessing like gum on shoe. Ah, okay. Shoe prints belong to Waki. It was in the park at the night of the crime. On the night of the crime, you can almost see the science at work. Don't you love it? Then feels better. Definitely way more into this than I am. Let me know if you want to do some more. Be here, solving the case with science. Science? And if we give it another go? No print unanalyzed. So this should be Stickler's print here. Good. Now we dry it. Yeah, a real arch on that shoe there. Get the very, very distinctive mark in the shoe as well as the nails. I mean, when it does those little the little sweeping passes of it with the shoe print, it's not impressive. With the fingerprint, you get the little point matches and whatnot showing up with each sweep. You think it could at least point out distinctive markings on the shoe as it does that. Otherwise, instead of saying analyzing, it would just be like looking, looking harder. These shoe prints belong to Wesley Stickler. This confirms his testimony. The final version of it, at least. And we know where the panty snatcher was standing. Can we give it another shot? I believe you're beginning to appreciate the wonder that is forensic science. So this will be our slipper print, no markings. Looking good. Enough. So this footprint was made with the leaf present. Print. Okay, this creates the linkage between the park, the slipper, and then the clinic. That's a funny shoe print. Is that even a shoe? It is strange. So smooth. Except for the part with the leaf. I can say without even looking that this print doesn't match any print on our list. A mystery print. Tarps that were here yesterday are gone. Why Detective Sky put them out. The thing they were covering is the ground. I think I see something there. A print. Yep. They have another leaf made larger and given a drop shadow to really emphasize, hey, look, the leaves here look like this. And it's next to a footprint. Look at it. We actually have that in our court record now. Let's go back into the park just to be sure here. The mystery. Yeah, there we go. Print is far too smooth to be from a regular shoe. That's no ordinary shoe. It is a shoe print of some kind, though. That's certain. Still, you have to wonder what it's doing here. It's right next to El Dune's noodle stand. It does make one wonder. Hey, you. Yeah? Why are you so quiet all of a sudden? You wouldn't happen to have something in mind? Something that might have left this mystery shoe print? Mystery shoe print does remind me of something. I'm pretty sure I've seen something that would leave a print like that. Oop. Take that! Smacks her in face with slipper. Well, I think these slippers, actually. Slippers? What would slippers be doing out here? But look at the bottom. See? Covered with paint, except for... See? Right here. That spot is shaped like a leaf. high drama music. What if a leaf was stuck on the bottom and came off when the slipper stepped in paint? Makes sense, doesn't it? Something's written on them. The Maractus Clinic. Exactly, the victim's clinic. That means that someone from the clinic was involved? Munch, munch, munch. Is she just standing there eating? Detective Sky, I have a favor to ask. What? Can you get us access into the Maractus Clinic? The police won't let us in. They say the murder and the clinic are not connected. It's off limits until we prove they are. I should be able to do something for you, yes. Really? Well, you did my work for me here with the shoe prints. Seems like I should return the favor. Thank you, Detective Sky. Here, show this to the police officer on duty. Like, official. Access to this magician and attorney in Prosecutor Gavin's name. Practice Clinic, here comes justice. His internal monologue catchphrase. You two again. When, oh, when will you learn? Look at me however you want. You're not getting in today. Wouldn't be so sure if I were you. Look at what we have. Detective Sky? Yesterday it was Prosecutor Gavin. Today it's Detective Sky. Who are you two? Really? Now he's suspicious again. Well, you got the orders. I gotta let you in. Have fun. Thanks, Mr. Officer. Let's hit it, Apollo. We will do that after a short break. Be right back, everyone. Getting settled back in. Okay. We are back. Get a refreshed beverage. There we go. Huh. Suddenly very quiet. There we go. So misclicked there. It's a lot of soup bowls. Okay, so we have the missing pair of slippers. We have some quite heeled shoes there, which to me, I'm thinking Alita here. Yeah. Kind of an at-home sort of place, isn't it? This has a connection to the murder in the park. I'm sure of it. Police guy out front wasn't so sure. Beyond it being where the victim lived. It's like the police team's gone home for the day. Might be some clues lying around. Let's get cracking, Apollo. The slippers for the patients at the clinic. Same as the pair we found, of course. Single pair is missing from the rack. Missing from the rack here too. Ours have paint on the bottom. Means they were taken out here on the night of the murder. Right. Paint's from the hit and run, after all. Or a pair of clinic slippers doing it in that trash can. Are they doing it at the scene of the hit and run? Single pair of sandals here. How would there be sandals here? They belong to one of the patients. Maybe it's a visitor that came to see Dr. Maractus. Oh. His name is Pal Maractus. So, Mal Paractus. Haha. Just got that. It's the first letter of the first and last name swapped. So it's still a pun name with an extra step. Hello, Sammy. Come to join me. Sammy's getting some back scratches right now. How's everyone doing? You'd think they'd use his house entrance instead of the clinic entrance in that case. And if this patient or visitor isn't still here, why'd they leave without their shoes? Better take a closer look at these just in case. Cute women's sandals. Yeah, it's Alita's color scheme. Grubby toe print. Oh, you think this could be a toe print. Maybe we can get a print off of it. Oh, 3DS mechanics. Maximize this. There we go. It worked. It's like a big toe, maybe. But wait, I mean, it's great that we got the print, but is there such a thing as a list of toe prints? Good point. If there is, Detective Sky didn't give it to us. Which means we can't match this print. It's like a good time to ask for a detective's advice. Look at all these bowls. They're from Eldoon's Noodles. There's Mr. Salty. I think we figured something out. I think we have. Mr. Eldoon must do takeout. Not exactly what I was thinking. All the bowls have been washed clean. I think we found our first clue, Trucy. Clinic reception desk. No one's here, of course. Small sign on the counter. Please pay your bill. Remember, we're the ones holding the scalpel. Wow. That's a whole lot of statements rolled in together, isn't it? No, we're doing the surgery that you're here for. We have this knife here. It would be a shame if something happened to you. Brutal, but effective. Door says doctor's office. You think this is the victim's private office? It's not locked. Too bad. Why too bad? I like opening locks. It's kind of a hobby of mine. Like those little bike locks? Don't even bother putting them on when I'm around. Probably not a hobby you want to tell too many people about. It reminds me of in the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I can't remember their names, but the legal assistant. How she was apparently so fascinated with clockwork that her father couldn't actually have a pocket watch in his house because as soon as she got it, she took it apart to see how it worked. Like, as soon as she encountered it, she would dismantle it. Thump. Apollo, that sound came from behind this door. Someone's in there. Let's check it out. Gasp. Too late to catch them now. They jumped out the window, I guess. Must be her experience as a panty snatcher chaser talking. Should tell the police. Check out the room first, Apollo. If we call the police now, we'll lose our chance. Get the police in, we won't be able to tamper with the crime scene. Things for certain. This clinic and our murder case are looking pretty related now. Books and papers scattered around the room. What a mess. This is worse than Daddy's room. Burglar must have left in a hurry. And the cup on the desk here is lying on its side. The juice that spilled out of that cup, it's dry. Definitely juice. You know, a dark amber juice. Likely apple. So the messy one wasn't our burglar just now. Someone knocked this cup over a while ago and left it. Look at that. They dropped their definitely apple juice bottle all over the floor. Bit of an expensive looking lamp, isn't it? The bulb's broken. Oh, broken? Don't you mean burned out? Oh, our cat burglar must have dropped it. Why is it standing on the floor like that, then? Look at the cord. It's a red splotch on part of the cord. I think that's blood. A little bright for blood. Almost pinkish. He's definitely out about that lamp. Show me the odd lamp. It's meant to be like a lip print. Got some of the contour of it, but it might just be that it's over the two parts of the cord. But red stain. I wonder what left that stain. I know, maybe it was left there by a red marker. Like they were trying to write their name and it slipped. I mean, why would anyone write their name on a lamp cord? I used to write my name on my magic ropes. The bulb is broken. It won't turn on. How is it broken? Touch that, you'll cut yourself. Yeah, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, my finger. You're bleeding, let me see that. Wait, magic blood. Please don't do that again. I have enough to worry about without my coworkers injuring themselves on the evidence. What are those? The wall is covered with beakers. Things moving inside that one. You look. Hey, look yourself. You can't. Oh. It's a goldfish. Ah, they're all fish. So many kinds. Whoever designed this had a sick sense of humor. I mean, they also don't like their fish much. There's no sign of any sort of, like, flow control in their sealed canisters. The cute little safe. It's like a 4-digit lock. Someone's already entered in 2 numbers, Apollo. 7 and 9. Do you think that burglar just now was trying to open it? Wonder what's inside this safe. Any way we can figure out the last 2 numbers? No, the first 2. Maybe there's something in the court record. Something that can help us figure out the last 2. I have just the thing. I know if buttons have been pressed, we can use this. Press the buttons, you'd have to touch them with your fingers. It would leave a print. You open the safe. You don't press any other buttons but the right ones, right? So if we can find the buttons with fingerprints, we'll have the safe code. Ba-ba-ba-ba. fun way to mess with that kind of pattern is to use the backspace button repeatedly during the process and make sure that every button gets pressed. You know, for the paranoid. Yeah, see, back is pressed. Though, I presume this is because they are... this is somebody... This could be somebody trying the safe, you know? You can see the oily finger residues clearly. 7 and 9. These are glove marks. The burglar must have been wearing gloves. Might not be able to identify the burglar, but we can open the safe. 5 and 2. I wonder if it'll take 2-5 as well. A golden lucky cat. And a bullet. It's like a bullet hole. See the bullet sticking out. Why is it in the middle of the safe? Bullet came out. Tip is all squished. Surprising, given that it was fired into a metal safe. Well, it's got a story behind it, that's for sure. Let me just take this evidence and stick it in my pocket. I'm sure nobody will have a problem with us doing this. There's a non-trivial amount of this kind of thing being done. Hey there, Kebo. Welcome to the broadcast. I'm glad that you can join us. We're playing the Apollo Justice Ace Attorney trilogy. Lots of narration and reading in this, so there's plenty of time to chat if you'd like. Otherwise, feel free to watch and listen. And or. Like a medical chart. There's an X-ray in here with it. An X-ray, can't make heads or tails of it. Can't read the chart either. It's all in medical speak. Hey there, Brianna. Well, thanks, Gabo. The names are easy to read enough to read. Look, by patient it says Walkie Kataki. How are you folks doing tonight? So this is Walkie, our client's chart. Why would this one chart be here in this safe? Pretty much, Biana. This is I'm the proto-nanotype. A domestic robot. The original one, now tasked with operating the factory. Not the biggest channel. And not everybody necessarily likes their Ace Attorney all the time. The position signature says Pal Maractus. What is it, Apollo? Look here where it says who filed the chart. See, Nurse Alita Tiala. Yup. Yep, Alita is involved. Ah. Alita Tiala is Walkie's fiance. It's one Ida too many, Apollo. Never mind. What's her name doing here? How should I know? So I guess it means she's on staff at this clinic. I mean, list videos are pretty common. Not that she neglected to mention this before now. No, not odd at all. Not odd at all. This I believe is the first case after the tutorial of the first game in the Apollo Justice Ace Attorney trilogy. Well, I do have a lot of other videos in my channel that you could look at and see if maybe you can get the idea from there after the stream. Shameless plug. Seamless plug. Sure, she had her reasons. So Alida Tiala worked at the Maractus Clinic. She had access to Waki Kataki's medical record. You got the I and Y wrong, Apollo. Be very interested to find out what this chart says. That is one of my cats. Do-do. So I believe you're looking, given how you said the patterning was, so you're looking at the short form version of the stream. Top left there is Sherbet. Then down right of that is Ember, the little gray and white and orange one. Then 2 down from that, there is Sky in the top of a cat tree, and then Sammy on a platform 2 down from him. It's the cat camera array here. We set it to that one, and then we zoom in a little bit. Short form doesn't show it as well, but yeah. Sky is the biggest one. He's napping in the top there. And then Sammy is kind of the lower side of the size class there. She's second smallest, kind of close, but definitely smaller than Sherbet. So she's kind of yeah, second smallest. She's a little tuxedo there at the bottom. Makes sense. Makes sense. I do run. I run on Twitch and in a wide format, and YouTube. I also run in a wide format, giving people some options. My bandwidth can handle about 3 options. Could help us decipher this. Well, we know that Eldoon is a doctor. Let's see. One of our recent ones that we've done a lot of is Monster Hunter. I don't know that we're going to... when that's going to pick up again. We've dabbled in a couple of other things. I try to do these kind of interactive fiction games when I can, generally Ace Attorney. I do have a bunch of other Ace Attorney-like ones lined up. But periodically other games. We did some Pal World recently. We showed the opening of Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. back in the day, we played Noida extensively. Large variety of things. Recently, we have started up some very, very rookie game development. Only effectively one stream into the first project now. And I'm hoping to pick up, we did some book reading before, and I'm hoping to pick up some more of that. It can be a thing, Kebo. It can be a thing. It can be a hobby. It can be something you try to lean into. It can be a lot of work. He's sleeping. I do not wish to disturb the sleepy kitty. Oh, well, he heard me talking. When he wants to be pet, he'll crawl up behind my, that particular one will crawl up behind my head on my chair rest. So that's Sherbet. Like I said, he'll get up on the head of my chair. So I have to reach up behind me and give him back scratches. The tuxedo Sammy will walk up onto my lap and lay there and demand back scratches. Ember will crawl up on my chest. And she'll want to be pet that way. And let's see here. Mason kind of strafes around and wants, like, brief, very particular attention. And Sky will make a terrible nuisance of himself, either wanting food or he wants his chin scratched a lot. Let's see here. Ember has noticed us talking. Yep. Ember will respond to her name a little bit. All right, Kebo. Well, thanks for joining us. And speaking of, Ember has come over for her pets. That's right. For me, Valentine's Day is pretty much just a day. Was a little productive on the game project. Insomnia still a thing. Sleep issues still a thing. Safe, cat statue, can't touch any of that. Okay, all that's considered normal. Gotcha. Window is ajar. Oh, it's not, it's a window. Must be how our burglar escaped. Wonder who it was. It was just a burglar who happened to pick here. Yeah, but there's a patrol car sitting out front. If I were a burglar, I'd come back the next day at least. I'd give it a month myself. Whoever broke in obviously needed to break in today. Potted plant has seen better days. That doesn't make sense either. Apollo is like a junior lawyer working a case where Phoenix is accused of murder at the start of the game. Pointy hair. Oh, two kind of pointy prongs on his hair. Red vest. gold bangle on his wrist. He ends up, in the process of the case, defending Phoenix, he ends up showing that his boss is actually the killer, and thus losing his job, and now is working kind of pro bono for Phoenix Wright, who is no longer a lawyer. He apparently lost his license. Well, his badge, you know. They have been dancing around telling us why and what happened. As in, they actively are not telling us despite referencing it over and over. The last time it was like, no, you'll have to figure that out yourself. We're not telling you. At the moment, it doesn't seem like he's getting paid. Like, he's out of a job. They called him here. They're like, yeah, we're going to have you run tasks for us. And now he's wrapped up in a court case. Normally, burglars are looking for valuables, right? That's true. That's what I'd do if I were a burglar. So why look under a potted plant? Maybe they were looking for the key to the safe. I've heard of people putting their house keys under plants, but the key to a safe? Maybe the burglar was looking for the house keys. This is getting nowhere fast. All right, we're going to go back to the clinic entrance. We're going to go out the door. We're going to talk to the noodle man. That is Trucy Wright. She is Phoenix Wright's daughter, apparently. Huh. I know, right? And the thing is, she is old enough. My understanding, she's old enough that she would have been born during the Ace Attorney trilogy, because it's this game is taking place 7 years after, I believe, 7 years after the last case in the Ace Attorney trilogy. Yeah, we don't know if it's a biological daughter. If it is, you know, a good enough distance back that it raises questions. I get the impression that adopted daughter, but we'll have to see. Weird. We don't know that either. Effectively, in the tutorial trial, we're introduced to her as like a picture in Phoenix's locket of his daughter, and then she shows up during the trial to help to give us fake evidence that we use to kind of catch the prosecution in a lie. And the use of fake evidence is supposed to be one of the ways, one of the reason that Phoenix lost his badge. So we can do to look the record here. Bullet lodged near heart. Scribble, scribble, scribble. Yeah, let's see. What could her name be a pun for? So his is malpractice. It's Pal Maractus, and if you swap the first two the two first letters, you get Malpractice. So there's one Ace Attorney game. One of the Ace Attorney games is So the first three, or the first trilogy that you can get, has a game that is of a similar age as this one. This one has some of the 3D and similar. Yeah, Alita's name is... I don't know. Yeah, that makes sense. Squished. All mushed. One tough save. You know, it looks kind of yummy. Like ice cream. Caramel. Certainly have an active imagination, Truzy. I usually start streaming at 4 p.m. Central, and I usually go for about 3 hours. But if it's, if things are rolling, I'll go for, 5 to 6. I try to stop at 6. Though that depends on what kind of stream it is. If it's game content, I try to stop at about 6 in case one of the game companies gets kind of copyright claim trigger happy, I know that face. That's the face of someone who's made a discovery. Hey, how did you know? Can't fool someone trained in the ways of science. Next, she'll have us analyzing face prints. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Let's ask Detective Sky to help us. Emma, tell us of toe prints. These sandals. It's quite a clear print there. A toe print. Too bad we don't know whose toe it is. There is a way of finding out, of course. There is? What? All you need is a sample of the same toe print off another shoe, for instance. If prints match, you'd know the same person wore both. It depends. Let's see here. Generally what happens is opening and ending credits in games, it's not too infrequent that they use like a song that they have licensed, we got dinged on the end of Danganronpa 1, on the opening credits of Judgment, and a couple of other things where there was like a band's fully vocalized song. So I have I have taken to keeping the stream short enough that I can have YouTube auto remove the music as necessary. And I've gotten real trigger happy as far as muting the desktop sound as soon as I hear vocals. But no, as a lawyer mentioned in a stream recently, it's not that it's something that they wouldn't do. It's that either they haven't noticed you or they have decided that you're not worth going after. But generally the rights holding companies that handle things like music licenses and whatnot, if they notice you, they'll go after you. One way or another. Prince match, you'd know the same person wore both. I have another shoe worn by the same person. I bet it was the slipper. beginning to suspect something here. Active sky, can you compare this sample with this other one? How about... take a look at this and see. Yeah. There's a clue there. This be a print? I mean a toe print. Could analyze it. Could you spam what, Brianna? You are on YouTube, so the channel bot might intervene. Oh, print. This game, and then one of I can't remember which Apollo Justice it was. I'm sorry, which the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney games it was. But there is one where they introduce Emma Sky and like the fingerprinting and whatnot. Those are games that came later than the original Ace Attorney games. And they showed up on things like the Nintendo DS. This is a Nintendo DS mechanic. You would actually tap the stylus on the screen to put down the powder, and you would actually blow into the microphone to blow the dust off. Case is solved already. What next? We have to match the print, right? Let's match it. Wait. Detective didn't give us a list of toe prints, Apollo. Cat noises behind me. Not sure what they're up to. We should ask her, get some expert advice. So, I'm not sure she really qualifies as an expert. Man, bit of a stab at this guy there. This pair of slippers, toe print and all. Print on these is nice and clear too. Makes our job easy. Can you analyze it for us? Of course, hang on. Bingo. Gosh, I'm good. I mean, one of the things with, so I'm sure image processing can be leveraged for this purpose. But fingerprint analysis is another one of those things that often involves eyeballing. I'm not familiar with Whistle. I might be familiar with it, but I'm not familiar with the title. I'm aware of the Rick Astley song. The ones who found the prints, a perfect match. Same person wore these sandals and slippers. I was afraid of that. What I have to do is find out who these sandals belong to. Ah, okay. So one of the things that we found out is that it seemed unlikely based on the description of the scenario, since Walkie was standing such that when the witness, Stickler, was shouted to them, that they would have looked towards him, and if Walkie was the one that would have shot, he would have hit him in the left temple, not the right temple. But we have a footprint over here on this side of the cart, so if the guy turned to the right to see Wesley shouting and they fired from here, they could hit him in the right temple. So once again, it's looking like Alita is our killer. I can't say, not yet. It's one big step closer to the truth. Dramatic. Okay, Eldune's presence hasn't been triggered yet. So Alita, the fiance of the suspect, our client, one, she's got kind of some sus behaviors around her, but it does seem she is at least like it really seems like she is present at the crime scene, and that she is also present at the clinic where the victim worked and where the client was seen for medical procedure. And you had mentioned, was she a biological daughter? This picture in the background is one of those things that makes me kind of doubt it. Is you have a different like magician in cape that is very much not Phoenix by the jawline. Okay, we have another flag in Phoenix's hospital room. Phoenix was hit by a car at the beginning of this trial. That is one of the events that happened that we haven't dug into yet, is why the green car that is parked in the clinic garage was driving around that night. The prodigal attorney returns. Welcome, Apollo. But yeah, this is Phoenix now. He plays piano badly and pretty much cheats at poker. I heard you did well in the trial today. Here to discuss something? I could use a little diversion. Apparently, stuff went down 7 years ago from this game, and Phoenix's life has gone in a direction. What did Detective Sky say? If you want to know something, you have to investigate it yourself. Mr. Wright. Hello, Sammy. So Ember is currently sitting on my lap in precisely the place that Sammy normally sits. And Sammy is showing a lot of hesitance here. Ember often sits in a different position. Like she'll climb up my chest a little bit. And if that's the case, Sammy will shove down into her regular spot, and that will push Ember out of the way. But since Ember is all the way in her spot, then Sammy did not intervene, which is, I didn't realize that's how it would go down. I mean, I would assume that it's definitely not his daughter, but given the picture in the background, if it was his daughter, again, it creates a weird scenario with the original Ace Attorney games. Huh. Nightbot fired twice. Oh, that's right. Okay, never mind. Um, they generally don't get into fights. Ember will take a swing at some of them if she thinks they're getting into her personal space when she's snoozing. Like if she's laying where Sherbet is, she takes offense if like Sherbet tries to step past her, like by walking over her. So Ember will take a swing now and again. Sammy and Mason play a little rough now and again, so sometimes paws are thrown. But otherwise, they all kind of have their spots. Mr. Wright, tell me what happened 7 years ago, please. I want to know. I need to know. Yeah, I'd like you guys to stop talking about it like it's that time. The incident. Remember that? Yeah, that was a thing. We're not going to tell you about it because it was just everybody knows about the thing. Certainly didn't waste any time getting to the point. Nightbot doesn't like when Nightbot says that, it's not that you spammed, it's that enough time has passed and enough people have talked since it last did something. So it shows up like right after somebody says something, because it will detect, hey, there's been this many lines of chat and it has been this long. I will say something again. It is night here. Central U.S. time zone. Evening. 7 years ago, I was standing in a courtroom on behalf of a client. The case involved the death of a certain magnificent genius. Okay. This case, the death of the individual is probably why he adopted Trucy. That's how I think this is going down. Yep, Akira, it is an automated message. It's set up to require a certain number of lines of chat in a certain amount of time to pass before it says anything again. It's just the channel rules synopsis. And welcome, Akira. Welcome. Surprised if you hadn't heard about it. It was all over the news, I remember that. You were up against Prosecutor Gavin, weren't you? Yes, he was only 17 years old at the time. Phoenix kind of attracts the wunderkind lawyers. 17 years old? That's still high school. He took the bar exam abroad, in Europe. They're progressive over there, you know. The Phoenix Wright games really do have that kind of, that opinion of it. Phoenix has got to be... I think he's like 30-something. Phoenix is not presented as very old in the Ace Attorney games. A noteworthy thing is that I don't know if they like retcon this or anything like that, but Phoenix did not go to college for law. He went to college for art. He studied law on the side. It's constantly emphasized that he has very little grasp of like legal proceedings or anything like that, and it's that he wins by intuition and perception. This Phoenix is even more so along those lines and seems to have picked up on procedure too. But still, not terribly old. Which is why it's with 7 years ago, that would put it like firmly into the time that it's like from college to the early trials. Right now, well, in the last trial, Phoenix was technically the pianist in a Russian restaurant. They served borscht and had a really hammed up theme, and that they refrigerated the whole building to make it authentically cold. But the piano playing was really kind of just this is what you do when your normal job is not active. And he would play poker. He was an undefeated poker champion. but the undefeated is augmented by the fact that Trucy would be there with him, helping him win. He does have that look, doesn't he, Akira? He's kind of scruffy. I was defeated by a 17-year-old newcomer. In my shame, I left the practice forever. That's all. That's all? How could that be all? Like, Phoenix's facial expressions in this game, like in this form, are just really sly. Like, it's a good question, Brianna, who's paying the hospital bill, because it sounds like Trucy's the one that brings in the money with her magic show, though not necessarily a lot of money. What about what they were saying on the news about forged evidence? They said you forged evidence and had your attorney's badge stripped from you. I do like... the thing I love about this sprite the most, aside from, like, they did a really good job giving him almost like a... He's much more jaded or worldly. Said he's very sly. Like, he knows a lot more than he used to. He's seen a lot more than he did before. But I love the hat pin. He's got a very sly, knowing face, and then the hat, the little pin is just like, wah. Tell me, how does it feel? How does it feel to stand here before Phoenix Wright, the Forging attorney himself? How does it feel? I don't want to believe it's true. But what about what happened in my first trial? I didn't realize that, Dice Goddess. That, Dice Goddess is on Twitch, for those on YouTube. That pin is apparently one of the pins that Emma Sky had when she was younger. If I recall, the case that involved Emma Sky's sister was the last one in the Ace Attorney games, wasn't it? The original Ace Attorney games. There's a single piece of forged evidence. He had Trucy come and deliver a card with a blood splotch on it to you, but that was not the actual card with a blood splotch. The actual killer had cleaned that up, but by presenting it as if we had it, it sort of disrupted the story, and it revealed what had really happened. So it was fake evidence, but it didn't hinge around the fake evidence. It's what came out after it was what was important. Talking about evidence that shouldn't have existed. A naughty magician's trick. Naughty. I don't see you jump into my defense on this one. Maybe I did forge evidence. Maybe I didn't. It doesn't really matter now, does it? But I'm not an attorney anymore. That's the only truth you need to know. Mr. Wright. Looks like he doesn't want to talk about the accusations of forgery. For now. Do you have anything we need to show him? I think so. Okay, so we've asked him for his little backstory, and we got a little bit of it. Hey there, Akira, now on Twitch. Edgeworth was accused of forging evidence, and Edgeworth got pulled into a lot of... we haven't seen Edgeworth. We haven't seen Edgeworth yet, Brianna. I don't know if they show up. For those that aren't aware, I am currently simulcasting to Twitch and in 2 different aspect ratios on YouTube, both for tall aspect ratio for like phones and for widescreen for like PCs and TVs. Who knows? Maybe Edgeworth will show up. Okay, so we're just there. Is Eldoon back yet? He's not. Very evasive. There was something we needed to show Phoenix. Guy, I was wondering about this. Intrusi, wait. It's vital evidence there. You can't show her that. It's our secret weapon in tomorrow's trial, for sure. I don't know at the moment there, Brianna. I will say it's difficult to spot. Or at least difficult to determine. I try not to fix on it too much. They're all... Each of them is a very different platform. Even though 2 of them are on YouTube, both of those different methods so the shorts feed on YouTube and the basic feed on YouTube are very different as far as like how people come through them. Oh, clever, Apollo. Yes, we shall hide evidence from the police. Did I tell you before? If you're gonna talk behind someone's back, do it quietly. Okay. Something we missed. Jump around and look for flags. Or if we have that listed. 15. Yeah, this would put... If Trucy were a biological daughter, it would put it like before the Ace Attorney trilogy. So it would be like when he was in college. So it's from what Phoenix told us, it is his last case. I'm guessing involved her actual parent, her actual father. Okay, nope. Phoenix is gone. So maybe detention? Looking for flags. Oh, found one. Cry Angel, Daddy's back and Daddy's... Oh, you again. He's assuming that Alita would show up. You always have to announce your entrances like that. And my old man, Man, I'm all in a funk and it's his fault. One can only assume that his father tried to teach him a lesson and failed, clearly. This is Waki Kitaki. Our client and the would-be heir to the Kitaki crime family. He is a very different form of organized criminal in his mind only. You got your work cut out for you, straight up. Of course, I don't care if they lock me up. I'm ready to go. It is his assertion that it is important for a real G to have served time. Some days I wonder why I do what I do. His appearance is supposed to be like a fox. If you look at his coat has little emblems there. The family symbol is a fox. Got his little ears. Button. Hey man, you won't see me bugging about 1 or 2 guilty charges. What if you're found guilty of murder? Hey, it's all experience. You feel me, shorty? Like a badge of honor. I mean, it's not a terrible jacket. It's just sad that that jacket is being worn by Waki. They don't give the death penalty, do they? You didn't really do it, did you? Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I've learned one thing today. It's that silence speaks louder than words. And my old man is whack. Disappointing, that's what he is. That about lines up. That would put him right around when he's in college and like fawning over the Black Widow lady. You know, the one that seemingly murdered all the people. But he wants to leave the mob over my dead body. I spend my life trying to keep it real, being an OG and never stepping down. Now my old man wants to go soft? Fine, let him. Just leave me out of it. I agree, Apollo. Sigh. The day I get out of the clink, that's the day Alita and I start the next generation of the Kataki family. Hehehe. Please don't talk as though it's assumed you're going to jail for my sake. I show him the medical record. How about her shoes? Are these her shoes? Monkey, you don't happen to recognize these, do you? Hey, sure I do. I was the one who bought them for her. Yeah. He's got a version of the Blue Badger with sunglasses and a goatee. For Miss Tiala. Yes, a birthday present. She's got mad little feet. Mad. So cute, man. These sandals are hers. I kinda had a feeling. What's up with the funky vibes? What's that? Some kind of X-ray? Wait. That's right, Waki. It's yours. Hey, look, I don't smoke or nothing. I'll live long, right? I don't think he gets it, Apollo. Take a closer look here in particular, where it says nurse. It's signed Alita Tiala. You lawyers do your homework. So, you met Miss Tiala when you... Yeah, I met her at the clinic. So? Could you tell us a bit about the circumstances of your meeting? I wonder if we'll get to see older Gumshoe. I mean, There are so many of the Ace Attorney characters that would be interesting moved forward 7 years. I'd say, you know, an older Francisca would be interesting, except the I fear one of my regular viewers' head would explode if that were true. Haven't seen Mia yet. Or Maya. So if we see Maya, we might see Mia. I'm fine. I'll tell you how we met if you want to know that bad. We are going to stop here, though. We're gonna wrap up for the night. We do have a prior engagement to get to. So we're going to call it there. I don't have a schedule set up for this week, but we are going to play some more Ace Attorney later this week. Thank you, Brianna. I'm glad you had a good time. For those that are watching, if you did have a good time and would like to see more content like this, remember to like, subscribe, comment, whatever it is on the platform that you're on, so that the algorithms know what you like and can give you more of that. Generally, when I stream, it's starting at 4 p.m. U.S. Central Time. The next stream will probably be tomorrow. We're probably going to do more Godot game development, more coding. Made a little bit of progress. I want to make some more. Should be fun. And then later this week, more Ace Attorney, more coding, and what have you. We're trying to get back in stride. We've had a bit of downtime, and we're recovering from that. Yeah, glad to have the new folks here today. It was good times. And the camera's misbehaving. One of these times, I'll have to remember to adjust my cameras again. I have some ideas on how to make them work better. But again, I hope everybody had a good time tonight. And I will see you next time. Good night, everybody.